News source. This is Channel 8 News at 4:30.
Now at 4:30, temperature test. The heat is here. We're checking in with local families and on different surfaces while parents try to keep kids safe during the dangerously hot weather. Plus, delivering decisions, reactions from the president after the Supreme Court rules on several big issues impacting people around the country. And exceeding expectations, what Husker men's basketball looks to achieve this next season and how they're making progress on those goals during their summer practices. But we begin with the dangerous heat moving in across Nebraska. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this Monday. I'm Mackenzie Johnson. The latest heat wave is stifling across the state, bringing a hot and humid day here to the capital city. Let's find out just how hot we are right now and when it will cool off. Here's Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins. Rusty?
Well, it's not going to cool off anytime soon, that's for sure. We have all of this in place through tomorrow night. So extreme heat warning, that's in and around the Omaha area, and then all of Iowa into Missouri and parts of Kansas. And then we have the heat advisory for south central and southeast Nebraska through Tuesday. The heat advisory heat index up to 104 or 105, and then the extreme heat warning 110. And that's only part of the problem. Another problem is this: overnight heat indices near 90 degrees. That's part of your problem. Severe weather up to the north. Nothing here yet, but we're monitoring an area right in this area right here that may start to see some scattered showers and thunderstorms. More on that in a few. It is windy out there too. It's 27th and Yankee Hill Road. You're looking at Honda of Lincoln. It's mostly sunny to partly cloudy. 92, which isn't terrible. It's just the dew point's at 74, so it feels like 102. 92 in Lincoln right now, 94 Omaha, 93 in Beatrice. And with the dew points in the 70s, you're looking at heat indices well into the 100s, 107 in York. We'll talk more about when it looks like we're going to cool down in a few minutes.
Good afternoon. I'm Emma Norwood. It is a hot day today. I mean, it's really windy, pretty hot out here, and I'm taking one of our tools that we use to measure just how hot some surfaces are. I took it out here to Antelope Park to measure the temperature on the slide, and it actually got well over 100 degrees. So coming up tonight at 5 and 6 o'clock, I got to speak with a few parents about how they keep their kids safe during the extreme heat temperatures that we're experiencing. I told them just how hot those slides were that their kids were playing on, and they were a little surprised, but they say they're taking the steps to make sure everybody stays safe. I also got to go out to the pool here in Lincoln and measure just how hot that pool deck is, find out what those temperatures are looking like tonight at 5 and 6 o'clock.
Yeah, some shocking stuff. Thank you so much, Emma. Now we want you to stay safe in the dangerous heat. Our meteorologists have been posting updates all throughout the day to our website at klkntv.com, and we're also sharing community resources to help everyone deal with the scorching temps. Now, whether you're cooling off at home or outdoors at the pool or at a park, like Melanie in this video, you can see her out walking the dog. You can send us a video to our Now Local News app and let us know how you're dealing with the dangerous heat. New details now. The NU Board of Regents approving changes to the bylaws at Nebraska Medicine. University President Dr. Jeffrey Gold addressing the board this morning.
These changes reinforce the commitment of the board to allow benefits of membership, including appointment of a full half of the members of the Nebraska Medicine Board by the Omaha Community Foundation.
The new bylaws were approved during the Board of Regents meeting this last Friday. This morning, they're also voting to make changes in the Articles of Incorporation. Now, the board also this morning moving to have a closed session for further discussions. Both the amendments will be in effect July 1st through September 30th. They're looking to establish a more long-term deal soon. Now to the war in Iran. New talks are set to happen tomorrow. President Donald Trump announcing a meeting with Iranian officials. Trump posting this on social media, stating that Iran has called for another meeting. He says it will take place tomorrow at Qatar's capital city of Doha. Now, no other details have been released at this time. Meanwhile, shipping through the Strait of Hormuz is picking back up slowly after the U.S. and Iran agreed to stand down after exchanging fire over this weekend. Data from ship tracking shows traffic is still far below the pre-war levels. The future of the strait remains unclear as the current agreement gives Tehran an unspecified role in managing the traffic.
For Channel 8 News, I'm Adrian Ward. Gas prices plummeting today. Despite a weekend of violence in the Middle East, prices at the pump are now the lowest in months. Gas Buddy's latest report out today says Lincoln's average alone fell nearly 20 cents in the last week. We're now sitting at $3.62 a gallon. That's close to what our citizen journalists are showing us. Brian says he saw $3.69 a gallon at the Super C near 34th Street and Old Cheney Road. The national average is also falling. Gas Buddy says it's at $3.78 a gallon. That's the lowest level since mid-March. Experts at Gas Buddy, though, do say this all hinges on a shaky truce right now between the U.S. and Iran.
New developments after Supreme Court decisions today. Justices ruling on several cases from mail-in ballots to the limits of President Trump's power. Here's ABC's Christiane Cordero with the details.
In a case destined to test whether President Trump can tailor the Federal Reserve to his political liking, today the Supreme Court for now said no. In a 5-4 decision, Chief Justice John Roberts and Justice Brett Kavanaugh sided with their liberal colleagues in deciding Trump cannot fire Fed Governor Lisa Cook without giving her an opportunity to contest allegations of negligence predating her appointment. Cook responded in a statement, writing in part, quote, "I am grateful for this decision, not for my own sake, but for the sake of the American people whose economic well-being depends on a central bank that answers to its mission, not political intimidation," end quote. In a separate case decided along ideological lines, the High Court said Trump is allowed to remove a Democratic member of the Federal Trade Commission purely for policy reasons, delivering the president a significant win as he attempts to reshape the federal government. Trump celebrated that win on social media before slamming another Supreme Court decision delivered today regarding mail-in ballots.
This is a ruling that says that the congressional statutes that refer to Election Day refer, in essence, to the casting of those ballots rather than the receiving of those ballots.
The case from Mississippi keeps similar laws in place nationwide, allowing mail-in ballots to be counted if they are received up to 5 days after Election Day, as long as they are postmarked on or before Election Day. Trump called the surprise 5-4 decision a tremendous loss. Mississippi's governor called on the state legislature to change its voting laws in light of the Supreme Court rejecting the Republican Party's attempt in this case to do so. Chief Justice John Roberts says tomorrow will be the final day of the term. Among the cases we expect the court to weigh in on: birthright citizenship, transgender girls playing sports, and campaign spending limits. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Happening tonight at the Lincoln City Council, a public hearing about potentially creating a corner store landmark thematic district. The proposal would designate 14 former corner stores as local landmarks at various locations around town, mainly in South Lincoln. Officials are hoping the proposal will help produce more local businesses in that area. Now you can see here on your screen a map of some of those spots. The triangles are the proposed locations for landmark status, while the green circles are previously landmarked. Now here are some of the stores that need renovation. We'll let you know if the project comes to fruition tonight at 10. Coming up after the break, hearing from Husker Hoops. The team tells us how their offseason is going so far and what they're doing to prepare. Sports director Nate Johnson joins us next for a breakdown of the message and what they're looking forward to. And all new at 5 o'clock, midterm mayhem. Questions are popping up over a new petition circling here in Nebraska. We're taking all of your concerns straight to the source. Here from the Secretary of State on a new possible political party here in Nebraska. That's in our 5 o'clock newscast. Stick with us. Nebraska basketball might be a few months away from the regular season, but today we're getting an update on how their summer is going. Nebraska coming off a fantastic season a year ago, making history along the way. But how are they keeping that momentum moving? For the latest on how the squad is shaping up, let's check in with Nate Johnson.
Hey, thank you, Mackenzie. There seems to be a lot of early optimism about this squad, and rightfully so. They have some fantastic veterans, Price Samford, Connor Siege, and some players who are looking to make some big leaps like Braden Frager and Cale Jacobson, and a lot of new faces on this Husker basketball team as well. And this team, well, they're going to have a bit more expectations attached to them after the run they had last year and with the team they are putting together as well. And that molding of a great squad starts in the dog days of summer. Here was head coach Fred Hoiberg on his team early on.
I love the group. I love how they come in and work. They've really already, you can see the chemistry that they're developing. And now as we transition into live play, now it's about cleaning things up and learning and taking steps in the right direction and growing as a group. But it's been a fun group of guys to work with. This is already our third week for 8 to 10 workouts that we've had now, and looking forward to continue to progress and see what we've got.
Well, still a long way to go until the season, but great to hear from Coach at this point as the team starts to gel together. We'll see you back here in the Sports Home to talk some more basketball and, of course, some more Husker sports. For now, the Mackenzie will send things back over to you.
All right, thank you, Nate. Now, the Lincoln Salt Dogs will be hosting this year's All-Star Game for the American Association of Professional Baseball. Some exciting stuff there. Baseball fans across the nation will be able to watch this game live on the MLB network for the very first time. The broadcast is projected to reach more than 30 million viewers, representing the largest distribution footprint in the league's history. It's also bringing some exposure to Lincoln and Haymarket Park. Now, that game will be at Haymarket Park on July 15th. Right now, people are dealing with all types of severe weather across the country, from fires to floods. ABC's Alex Stone reports.
It's a story of extremes across the country. In some areas, too much rain. In others, too little. And millions of Americans are bracing for dangerous heat with the 4th of July weekend approaching.
It's hot, really hot.
In Colorado, 3 federal wildland firefighters killed while battling the Knowles fire are now being identified. 38-year-old Emily Barker, 27-year-old Nick Hutcherson, and 27-year-old Sydney Watson were all assigned to a helitack crew near the Utah border when they were overcome by fire.
It's the ultimate sacrifice, and we never like to hear when that happens. We take a step back and we reassess how we're doing things, and we make sure that everybody's being as safe as possible.
Numerous wildfires are burning in several western states, fueled by widespread drought and wind. There are now states of emergency declared in Colorado and Utah.
The last couple of days, we've had really strong winds, which created a lot of active fire behavior.
But in Kentucky, it's the opposite problem. Too much water.
We have been hit really hard, wiping out roads and bridges, and sadly, even taking a handful of lives.
Boom, there it went. In Murray, Kentucky, powerful floodwaters broke through a fence. At least 5 people are now dead in Kentucky and Tennessee from flooding. And more than 100 million Americans are in the path of extreme heat this week from the Midwest to the East Coast. Chicago is warning people to stay indoors and take advantage of cooling centers as the heat is beginning to set in. And back to that fire danger in Utah. Several towns, including Beaver City in southwestern Utah, are now canceling 4th of July fireworks shows because of the ongoing wildfires. They're calling on people to instead show support for the hardworking firefighters. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Well, speaking of all that dangerous heat, it's impacting our area. Let's send things over to Rusty for the details.
We're also watching a chance for severe weather, too. So we've kind of got a 1-2 punch headed our way. A lot of heat, a lot of humidity, and the chance for some strong storms. So satellite radar quiet right now, but we're keeping an eye on things. Interestingly, I'm not sure what that is. See how it's just, it could be like a flock of geese or an airplane. It could be anything, because our radar, it senses everything in the atmosphere, not just rain. I mean, the airports use it all the time, so that I'm just going to keep an eye on that, see what that is. This was disappointing for me. 48th and Cornhusker Highway, when I first got to looking at this, I thought, oh, well, are they opening up the roads? And they kind of are in a few spots, and then not so much on the this side is now open, and they've closed this side down, so they must be doing the other side. I was hoping they'd be done. So total precipitation over the last 24 hours, almost 13, over the year, excuse me, almost 13 inches. We're about 2.5 inches below. We'll see if we can remedy that over the next few days. Temperatures just incredibly warm. Middle 90s yesterday, middle 90s today. This is the hard part. I mean, middle 90s, that happens. It's summer, sure, but this is the hard part. Those overnight low temperatures didn't fall very far below the 80-degree mark, and when that happens, you just can't cool off. Your air conditioner can't take a break. You can't go outside and just relax a little bit. That's the hard part. So hot and humid throughout the day, many days in a row, but overnight low temperatures not falling very far. That just adds insult to injury. So very windy, temperatures in the 80s as we head through 2 a.m. There's the severe weather for now, but there's a boundary layer here and here. A couple of different chances for precipitation. Nothing happening out there right now, but here's what it looks like for the severe weather risk. We have a slight risk from Grand Island north and east to Sioux City. Lincoln kind of on the edge. Stormcast has those storms right there. So about 9 o'clock tonight, they form in central Nebraska, quickly make a beeline to the north and east through 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Notice Lincoln not seeing any of this. And then it just spreads north and east and basically fizzles out after midnight. So much needed rain, maybe some severe weather, but not everybody going to see that severe weather potential. And then another chance as we head into Tuesday night, another batch of storms headed closer to the Lincoln area as we head into Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. There's that chance for severe weather on Tuesday. So we'll talk more about the severe weather chance and the heat in a few minutes.
All right, thank you so much, Rusty. New details. The Stanton County Sheriff's Office is sharing more details about a scary rollover crash. The sheriff says a man from West Point is miraculously alive after this crash early Sunday morning. We're told it happened along Highway 15. A pickup pulling a horse trailer crossed over the center line, striking a guardrail and going through about 60 feet of that guardrail before crashing over the embankment and rolling into the ditch, landing on its top, which you can see right there. They believe the 21-year-old driver fell asleep at the wheel. The sheriff's office says he's being treated at West Point Hospital, and they did have to euthanize a horse in the trailer. Developing now, search and rescue operations carrying on in Venezuela after deadly earthquakes. The death toll is rising. ABC's Rena Roy has the details.
Time is running out for any survivors buried underneath rubble in Venezuela. 140 search dogs from 21 countries working night and day to find those trapped. New video shows a mother and her 18-day-old newborn pulled from underneath what remained of their apartment building in La Guaira after being trapped for 32 hours, both now in stable condition. The State Department posting this video of American crews helping to pull another mother and her 9-month-old baby to safety, both somehow suffering only minor injuries. And yesterday, 4 days after those pair of powerful earthquakes struck, a father and son pulled from the rubble alive. But the death toll is rising, with nearly 1,500 people now confirmed dead and hundreds of aftershocks jolting the region. An estimated 58,000 buildings were damaged or destroyed. Older buildings and substandard construction leaving this region especially vulnerable. Rescue workers from dozens of countries have been deployed to help. Authorities are now limiting access to the hardest hit areas, saying crowds of volunteers are in some cases getting in the way of the skilled rescue teams trying to reach those still trapped. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Coming up after the break, Parenting Spin, what UNL researchers are revealing about the role of grandparents in kids' upbringing. And coming up all new at 5, major milestone, a century-long battle over water rights between Nebraska and Colorado is headed to the Supreme Court. How officials on both sides of the borders are responding tonight. We'll be right back. Right now, a new study suggests sending your kids to their grandparents' house benefits everyone. A postdoctoral fellow at UNL has found a positive relationship between intergenerational co-parenting and children's social emotional development. Her research finds that when parents and grandparents work together to raise kids, those children actually have higher levels of social skills. Her data finding that when grandparents feel respected and influential in parenting decisions, their influence on child development is positive. She clarifies parents should serve as the primary caregivers, but sharing that burden with grandparents can also promote discipline and reduce confusion and behavioral dysregulation in children. Happening tonight, kids will be exploring nature up close at a local library. A local group called Big Gumdrop Outdoors is welcoming kids to get curious. They'll be able to explore and learn about some different insects and plants. The nonprofit says the theme for tonight's event is Unearth a Story. Kids will get to hunt for different insects and learn about plant species. It'll be at the Bennett Martin Public Library starting at 6 o'clock. Well, the only downside for those kids, it might be a little too warm because we've got dangerous heat here in the capital city. Rusty?
It is warm. It's humid. It's muggy. And here's the thing. It gets hot in the summer, sure, but this is extensive heat day after day, and overnight low temperatures aren't falling off very far. It gets to you after a while. So temperatures in the 90s, 97 in Grand Island right now. Temperatures tonight will drop into the 70s for southeastern Nebraska's 60s and 50s further west. But see what I mean? Temperatures just aren't falling off too far, and then we warm right back up into the middle 90s, 80s the further west you go. But a lot of 90s out there in eastern Nebraska, especially the further east you go. It's still very windy right out of the south. That wind at 20 to 30, gusting to around 40 miles per hour. Stormcast has those temperatures again dropping into the 70s in far southeast Nebraska, much cooler further west. And we warm right back up into the 90s and then drop back down into the 70s, and when we warm back up into the 90s. So the heat and humidity sticking around for a while.
Certainly is. Thank you so much, Rusty. That's going to do it for Channel 8 News at 4:30. Rod Fowler is coming up next, along with our team of reporters and citizen journalists. We've got a lot more stories coming up for you at the top of the hour. Stick with us.
from Nebraska's trusted news source. This is Channel 8 News at 5.
Coming up tonight, new party, new fears.
They'll have to turn in by July 15 6,728 signatures.
Posts popping up on social media about a petition to start a new political party in Nebraska. Is this even legal? And which side of the aisle stands to take the biggest hit? Also tonight, teens in trouble. How and where police were able to catch up with kids accused of vandalism and theft right here in Lincoln. Water battle breakthrough, the next step in the legal fight between Nebraska and Colorado. And temperatures rising along with the risks.
Whenever it's this hot outside, don't get me wrong, it's okay to let them go outside and play, ride bikes.
Channel 8 hits the pavement to see just how hot playgrounds and pool sidewalks get. Well, dangerous heat is baking southeast Nebraska. Being outside is downright miserable, isn't it? Like standing in front of an open oven on full blast. We're talking feels like triple digits. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Rod Fowler. No matter what weather page you're looking at on our website, all signs point towards terrible hot weather. For example, on our 10-day right here, a lot of 90s, and then maybe some upper 80s, close to 90 all week. If you go over to our weather radar page, a mixture of clouds and sun, bringing a little bit of relief when the clouds are blocking out those rays. Let's take a live look outside now. Through our Allo camera, you can almost feel the heat coming through this live feed. And some sun and clouds in southeast Nebraska. What can you say? Very hot, windy, and humid. It is July. I guess the question is there any severe weather risk with all of this? Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins for more. Rusty.
It's probably smart to keep your head on a swivel. There's all kinds of things to worry about tonight. The heat, the humidity, the wind, and there is a chance for some strong storms. So let's get right to it. Here's your highs so far for the day. 94 in Lincoln, 95 in Hebron, 95 in Holdridge, 97 the hot spot in Grand Island. Outside right now, even a little bit of haze going on out there. Sunset at 9:03, can't wait for that. 95 degrees by 7 p.m., 90 by 9 p.m., and 84 degrees by 11 p.m. And that storm chance starts to increase. Now, Schoen's Roofing Cam showing plenty of cloud cover. And whoa, geez, that one made me nervous. I thought that Jeep was getting schmucked there, but nope, we're okay. Extreme heat warning continues through Tuesday for Omaha and surrounding areas, and then the rest of southeast Nebraska. A heat advisory through Tuesday as well. Temperature-wise, we're still in the 90s. We're at 92 in Lincoln, 93 in Beatrice. Dew points, this makes it just awful. Middle and upper 70s for dew points, so you have a heat index in the triple digits, 102 in Lincoln. And that wind, not making matters any better, out of the south at 20 to 40 miles per hour. Satellite radar quiet for now, but like we mentioned, there is a storm threat. That forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you so much, Rusty. As those dangerous temperatures overwhelm the capital city, we wanted to know just how hot it gets at places that some families go to try and beat the heat. Channel 8's Emma Norwood joins us live after making the rounds at playgrounds and swimming pools. Emma, I bet you wanted to jump into one of those pools.
Hey, yeah, good evening, Rod. You're exactly right. I mean, I don't know how much time you've spent outside today, but right now, just be happy you're inside on that desk. I'm not feeling like the lucky one having to stand out here in this heat. I mean, it's hot, it's windy, just like Rusty mentioned. It just feels super humid. It's not the best. And some of the people that were out and about today did tell me that they're working to take the necessary steps to stay safe while also enjoying the sunshine. Empty playgrounds and picnic areas. That's the scene across Lincoln today as extreme heat cooks the capital city.
Whenever it's this hot outside, don't get me wrong, it's okay to let them go outside and play, ride bikes, or whatever kids like to do, but please make sure they drinking water.
With summer in full swing and kids eager to hit the playgrounds, we wanted to know just how hot the equipment is. This infrared thermometer measuring the temperature of the slides at Antelope Park. It's coming in at an alarmingly high 132 degrees. The playground itself measuring 156 degrees in some areas and 149 in others. Now, not even a park bench is safe as it's 112 degrees. Richard Harris, a father of two, tells me he's been working to get ahead of the heat to protect his family.
One thing I like to do, like when I step outside, I like to wear a little hat because, you know, I'm bald head, so, you know, to protect the scalp. But the hat worked pretty good, and too, it's very important to stay hydrated before a hot day. You know, meaning like drink plenty of water when you're sitting at home just chilling.
And the pool decks at Irvingdale Pool measuring 125 degrees, a scorcher for unprotected feet. A few families at the pool telling me off camera they're thankful for a place to go when it's this hot outside. Harris agreeing, especially when he's coaching his kids at practice.
We go from 3 to 5, but to be honest, we practiced for like 45 minutes yesterday. It was so hot. But during practice, we made sure they had plenty of water. They took plenty of breaks, and we didn't leave them out there as long.
And just like Harris mentioned, a few of the families that I was able to speak with today say that they're also taking time to decrease how much they're spending outside. And hey, hopefully you can't tell too much, but I've been out here for about 20 minutes. And just to give you a better idea, I feel like I'm glistening in the sunlight right now. Reporting live, Emma Norwood, Channel 8 News.
All right, thank you, Emma. And the best way to beat the heat is to download our Now Local News app. Our team of reporters, meteorologists, and citizen journalists will be posting views from this heat wave washing over Lincoln. Scan the QR code on your screen to download the app for free. It's really the best way to see how others are staying cool and to know what to look out for while the temperatures are so high. All right, breaking now. A large police presence near 13th and E Streets this afternoon. Citizen journalist Kevin getting us this close-up look at the action on our Now Local News app. We reached out to Lincoln Police to learn what was going on there. As soon as we received the video, we're learning they're investigating an assault that took place. Once we learn who was involved in that assault, along with the severity of it, we'll bring you those details. Right now, we're dealing with the fallout of some major Supreme Court decisions. Will election officials be able to count mail-in ballots that arrive after Election Day? Will President Trump gain more power over the Federal Trade Commission? What about Trump's attempted removal of Lisa Cook from the Federal Reserve? The U.S. Supreme Court coming to decisions on all of these today. And our Meg West joins us in the newsroom now with the results. Meg?
Good evening, Rod. Yes, a big loss and win for presidential power today. The Supreme Court handing down a series of consequential decisions. Here's what changed and why it matters. First up, a change to mail-in voting. The court ruling 5-4 saying states may choose to count mail-in ballots that arrive after Election Day, as long as those ballots were postmarked by Election Day. But if a state chooses to require ballots be received by Election Day, they can keep those rules. Another decision, the Supreme Court striking down a nearly 90-year-old federal law restricting the president's ability to fire members of independent agencies like the Federal Trade Commission without having to show cause. The rule strengthening the idea that executive power belongs to the president and he controls executive officials. The president posting on Truth Social today calling it a big win, but a separate decision today spares one federal body from being at the president's mercy, the Federal Reserve Board. The Supreme Court rejecting President Trump's attempt to fire Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook, highlighting the decision on social media as they declare that the new presidential power to fire officials does not apply to the Federal Reserve. The president promising action after they rejected his attempt to immediately fire Cook. Now, the big decision that everyone's watching and waiting for happens tomorrow. It's the birthright debate. Now, this law has been in effect for over 125 years, and the Constitution is quite clear. Born on U.S. soil equals automatic citizenship, regardless of the parent's status. But that decision all hangs in the balance tomorrow. We, of course, will be watching and waiting, and as soon as that decision comes in, we will update you online, on the Now Local News app, and on our newscast. In the newsroom, Meg West, Channel 8 News.
Thank you, Meg. Breaking now, 2 more teenagers arrested in a vandalism and theft case. They're in custody in Council Bluffs, Iowa, for a case that started right here in Lincoln. According to Lincoln Police, Saturday morning around 5 a.m., 4 kids showed up here at Kelly's Produce, destroying several items and stealing other things. The damage to the business is estimated right around $5,000. So 3 out of the 4 have been arrested, and police are looking for the 4th. Developing now, a push for a new political party is becoming a reality here in Nebraska. The waves of this possibility have been met with pushback from both sides of the aisle. Channel 8's Mackenzie Johnson joining us after hearing from Nebraska Secretary of State Bob Evnen about what this means for voters come this November. Mackenzie?
Yeah, there are a lot of questions swirling online about a potential new political party here in Nebraska, and we're taking those questions to the Secretary of State's office. This effort is hoping to appeal to people who don't maybe fully align with Republicans or Democrats. Instead, petitions are circling in Omaha for people trying to create what's called the Nebraska Working People Party. Secretary of State Bob Evnen says organizers filed this petition to start a new party. Now, it's all perfectly legal, but to actually get their candidates on this November's ballot, they have a lot of hoops to jump through first.
They filed the paperwork necessary to begin collecting signatures, because in order to establish a new political party, you have to turn in signatures from registered voters. They'll have to turn in by July 15, 6,728 signatures from across the state, so they'll need to get approximately 2,200 signatures from each of the 3 congressional districts.
Now, some groups are warning voters, calling this a scam. The Nebraska Democratic Party is calling it a, quote, Republican dark money operation to rig the November election and silence Nebraska voters. Their chair, Jane Klebb, saying this is a way to divide the Democratic vote and create chaos. Now, I have reached out to the Nebraska GOP asking for their take on this proposed new political party and the accusations from the Democratic Party. Their reply coming in just minutes ago. I'll have the details on what they say coming up tonight at 6. Reporting in the studio, Mackenzie Johnson, Channel 8 News.
All right, thank you, Mackenzie. Stay with us. We have more heading your way after the break and a new batch of stories for our 6 o'clock newscast, including neighbors in need. The Westlake Ace Hardware and Salvation Army are partnering to keep people cool during the heat wave. How many fans they're going to be giving out for free? And coming up after the break, water war, a breakthrough in the 100-year dispute between Nebraska and Colorado. What our lawmakers think about the case being moved to the U.S. Supreme Court. Stay with us. Breaking now, a step forward in a water rights battle spanning more than 100 years. The water from the South Platte River has been under dispute between Nebraska and Colorado since 1923. That's when the states signed an agreement about the usage of the water. Nebraska claims Colorado has intercepted more than 1 million acre-feet of water since the agreement was signed. Well, today, Mike Hilger is announcing this case is headed to the U.S. Supreme Court. He says it's an opportunity to vindicate our water rights and is a significant step for the future of our state. And we'll be talking to Attorney General tomorrow, digging deeper into this dispute. Governor Jim Pillen, by the way, reacting to the news today. He says he's determined to preserve and protect every drop of water from the South Platte River. He's also thanking Mike Hilgers and his team for carrying Nebraska's claims to the High Court. Developing now, survivors are being pulled from the rubble in Venezuela after improbable time spans. First responders, they're shouting orders to get this man to safety. Come take a look at your screen here. He'd been trapped under rubble for 106 hours. The rescue operation to free him taking 43 of those hours. Search and rescue teams from all around the world all pitching in to get this man out for the first time in days. And it's not just people from the U.S. giving their hearts to Venezuela in an attempt to locate survivors. Virginia Task Force 1 releasing this video of one of their dogs braving shards of concrete, navigating narrow areas using its sense of smell to find more people. Every resource going towards saving as many lives as possible before time runs out.
Now, your Storm Alert Team forecast with Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins.
It was kind of odd how quickly we went from not too shabby at all. I mean, not too long ago, we were in the 80s for highs and no dew points and no wind to yesterday that was just hot and humid, and we are still there. This goes through Tuesday. It's still going to be hot. Not as humid, though, as we head through the rest of the week, but extreme heat warnings in and around the Omaha Metro and then the rest of southeast Nebraska and a lot of eastern Nebraska, a heat advisory through Tuesday. Heat indices will be 105 to 110. This spreads all the way into Iowa, Kansas, Missouri. And it's not even record-setting hot. It's just how hot and humid, the length of time that it's hot and humid, and the overnight low temperatures not dropping. I mean, 78. That's 13 degrees above the normal low of 65. If we could have this hot and humid and drop to this, we wouldn't have these heat advisories, but it's just so hot and humid, and the overnight lows are also hot and humid. It just stacks upon stacks upon stacks. We're looking at the Berry Lock Cam. You can tell that it's still windy out there, mixture of clouds and sun, and 92 in Lincoln, 96 in Grand Island, 95 Holdridge. So it's just warm. I mean, no doubt about that. Dew points really high. When you start to see the purples, that's never good. 77 in York, 76 Columbus, 75 in Nebraska City, 77 in Falls City, along with York, the higher spots. So 102, 107 in Omaha, 107 in York, 102 in Lincoln, 104 in Beatrice. The wind speed 10 to 20, gusting to around 40 or 41 miles per hour. So it's hot, humid, and windy. Trifecta. Partly cloudy skies. At least we're seeing some cloud cover. That's not really helping much. A couple of different areas we're watching. There's a little bit of a frontal boundary right here that may spark some storms later on, and then another frontal boundary off towards the Panhandle. So how does this all play out? Spot storm tries to get going at 6 p.m. That doesn't make it. This will. This is the most likely scenario between 9 and 10 o'clock tonight. Isolated storm starts, makes its way north and east. Notice Lincoln, Beatrice, Omaha, everybody south of I-80 misses out on this. That moves to the north and east, kind of right around that frontal boundary. It's not moving very fast, and then it just fizzles out as we head past midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. Then we wait. Another round of storms going to be possible as we head through Tuesday night. This is Tuesday around noon, and about right there, 7 p.m. storms start to move back into south central and eventually southeastern Nebraska by 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, maybe towards midnight on Tuesday into early Wednesday morning. So many chances for storms just about every day. It's just so hot, so humid, and a frontal boundary moving through that hot and humid weather that it might pop a few showers and thunderstorms on and off. Not everybody will see rain, not everybody will see severe weather, but the chance is there. Temperatures tonight, 60s, 70s, and notice southeast Nebraska has those middle and upper 70s. That's part of the problem. Then highs tomorrow between 90 and 95 degrees for everybody. So another hot and humid, not as windy, but still hot and humid. 7-day forecast, lots going on in this 7-day forecast. Storms possible Tuesday and Wednesday. July starts on Wednesday, by the way. 94, 93, 92. We stay in the 90s. In fact, get back into the upper 90s. Small chances for storms on Thursday and Friday. I think a better chance, unfortunately, on the 4th of July. And then dropping back down to around 90, those overnight low temperatures finally dropping briefly into the 60s by next week and a little bit cooler. But boy, the next several days, very hot, humid, and storms possible just about every day.
All right, thank you, Rusty. Nebraska basketball was back at the podium today, giving their first update of the summer. The Huskers, of course, coming off a fantastic season a year ago, making history along the way. But this is a new team with plenty of new faces. For the latest on how the squad is shaping up, let's check in with Channel 8 Sports Director Nate Johnson. Nate.
Hey, thank you, Rod. There seems to be a lot of early optimism about this squad, and rightfully so. They have some fantastic veterans, Bryce Sanford, Connor Siege, and some players who look to make some big leaps like Braden Frager and Cale Jacobson, and a lot of new faces as well. But this team will have to, well, work because there's a bit more expectation attached to them after the run they had last year. And with the team that they are putting together, that molding of a great team starts in the dog days of summer. And here was head coach Fred Hoiberg on his squad early on.
I love the group. I love how they come in and work. They've really already, you can see the chemistry that they're developing. And now as we transition into live play, now it's about cleaning things up and learning and taking steps in the right direction and growing as a group. But it's been a fun group of guys to work with. This is already our third week for 10 workouts that we've had now, and looking forward to continue to progress and see what we've got.
Well, still a long way to go until the season, but great to hear from Coach at this point as the team starts to gel together. We'll see you back here in the Sports Zone for more basketball talk. For now, the Rod will send things back over to you.
Thank you, Nate, and stay with us. We have more for you after the break and a whole lot more on our 6 o'clock newscast, including Trapped in Time, what items Bryan Health is choosing to preserve for the next 50 years and why they're doing it. And tonight at 7 right here on ABC, Disney is celebrating 250 years of American independence with their Coast to Coast party. You won't have to turn the channel to watch it. It'll be right here on Channel 8. We'll be right back after the break. You're also keeping an eye out for potential severe weather in some parts of Nebraska.
Yeah, it feels like central into northeast Nebraska has the better chance. Southeast Nebraska might have a little bit better chance tomorrow. Either way, storms are going to be out there later on tonight, and the heat is out there now. We have lots of 90s, 92 in Lincoln, 96 in Grand Island. That heat index is way up there as well. Satellite radar showing just a mixture of clouds and sun, and we do have that chance though later on this evening for some severe weather, especially in that yellow shaded area from Grand Island, Columbus to Sioux City. So we'll keep an eye on that. Temperatures tonight only falling into the 70s in eastern Nebraska, then once again right back into the 90s. So another hot and humid day. So just take it easy if you have to be out and about, and if you're in a line of a severe storm, make sure you know what to do.
All right, thank you, Rusty. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here at 6.
Closed captioning on Channel 8 Eyewitness News is brought to you by Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Green's Furnace and Plumbing has continued to be your trusted, locally owned and operated plumbing and HVAC professionals for over 100 years because of you, our loyal customers.
Thank you, Lincoln.
Thank you, Lincoln.
Thank you, Lincoln. Thank you, Lincoln.
Whether it's through your plumbing or heating and air needs or giving back to the community like sponsoring Lincoln Youth Football and the Capital Humane Society, we look forward to continuing the tradition of our family serving your family.
Thank you, Lincoln.
Locally owned since 1963, Leach Camper Sales of Lincoln offers a huge variety of RVs. Unlike competitors' same old models, your choice is always uniquely yours. All types, all styles, all price ranges. Get out and live life. Leach Camper Sales of Lincoln. Camp better.
Pete Ricketts is used to getting things paid for. Born into